How far can you go if you challenge yourself? Well, find out today on Extraordinary Women TV, where we discover what it takes to follow our hearts and dreams. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, your host, and thanks for joining me. My next guest is Paulette Senior, CEO of the YWCA Canada, the oldest and largest multi-service women's organization in the country. Well, Paulette, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Shannon.
Now, you are an outstanding leader in the world of business here in Toronto and in Canada. You've been an advocate for women and girls for many years, in fact, almost all your career.
Pretty much so, yes.
You've been recognized with a number of awards. The Queen's Jubilee Award is one of them. More
Queen's
recently,
Jubilee Award was one I think I've received 2 of those awards. The latest one was last year, where I received the Queen's Jubilee Award. But it's kind of interesting to receive awards. It's nice. It's a nice recognition. But it's also an affirmation that I'm actually doing something that makes a difference in the community, and to me that's really satisfactory.
So is it important, do you think, being recognized for our work?
I think it's important for women, right? I think it's important because we live in a society where women don't necessarily get the credit for the work that they do as easily as men, our counterparts. And so I think it's important that whether it's something in the community, whether it's something in business, whether it's looking after your family, whether it's running an organization, I think it's important that women are recognized. And so I think it's one of the tools that we have to ensure that history is documented in terms of the accomplishments that women have achieved.
Well, trace your career for us. You got your start in your career.
Yeah. Well, I've had a very long history within the YWCA. I certainly had jobs before I went to the YWCA, but I've really, I would say it in a couple of ways. I've been at the right place at the right time, and within the YWCA that certainly has been the case. So I started there in 1992 on a 6-month contract, where I had what I thought was my dream job at the time. And it was a job where I was supporting women who were recently unemployed from manufacturing companies or various companies who didn't necessarily have a lot of education, but they had acquired certain skills. And so my job was to support them to become re-employable. And that meant running life skills groups, looking at what were some of the essential skills that they needed in order to look at another career, look at what options they had. Plus, we also provided academic skills, academic upgrading skills for them in math and English. And so women would enter the program, and at the end of the program, they would receive a certificate that most of them actually went on to college education. Some were able to find other jobs, but they were able to get sort of a new direction in terms of what they were going to do with the rest of their lives. And I found that to be absolutely amazing for a couple reasons. One is that you get to see women transform right before your eyes. When they go through the program and they become so inspired by who they realize themselves to be, right? So they come in, they may be feeling shy and withdrawn, and when they leave, they're smiling and they're confident and they have a plan. And to me, that was just an incredible opportunity to witness and to participate in.
Well, let's just talk a little bit about some of the programs that the Y offers for women. I mean, how does the Y help women here in Canada?
Well, as you said in the opening, that we're the largest and oldest multi-service organization for women in the country. And so some of the major program areas that we provide, we're the largest provider of shelter for women, especially women who have fled violence in their lives.
Very much needed.
So we have a large network of shelters across the country. We also focus a lot on employment programs. So employment and skills development programs is another area so we have 33 YWCAs across Canada. And so these, and member associations. So these associations provide programs on the ground to women and girls across the country. And so shelter and housing, employment and skills development, childcare is an important part of that for women to be able to enter and re-enter the workforce. And leadership development for girls and young women. So those are some of the main areas that we focus on.
How important is empowering oneself for women and girls?
Mm-hmm. It's critical, I think, to women and anyone. It's an important aspect of when people actually discover their true skills, right?
Right.
That they can go through a process of realizing what they're capable of doing. And the components of empowerment to me would include confidence, an ability to tune into who you are, an ability to take something on and get it done. So being able to accomplish things.
How important is challenging oneself to get where you want to go?
Well, for me, it's a necessary ingredient in any work that I do because challenge means growth to me. Challenge means learning something new. Challenge means stretching myself. And at the end of that, transformation happens. So the person I was before the challenge has been enriched. And so there's something new that I can carry that is now a part of me because I've been challenged. So to me, it's a very important thing. And every role that I've held in my career in the 20 plus years I've been a part of the YWCA movement has really stretched me, sometimes in areas that I didn't want to be stretched. It's not all fun, and it's not always necessarily inspiring. Sometimes there's some agony involved. And
a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And so, but for me, a challenge is always something that I want to do, even if I hate it. and I don't mean hate it as in, I just mean in terms of resistance. I may resist it, but at the end of the day, it is something that is a part of what I need to become in order to go to the next step in my life and in my career.
And you actually mentioned something that's really important, is that resistance. Challenging ourselves is so critical for growth. Yeah. But there is, for many people, an automatic resistance. I don't want to go there. I want a job promotion, but I've got to really challenge myself to get there, and I'm kind of scared. That kind of thing. Yeah. So, what would you have to say for someone who may be sitting there and saying, "Well, I really, I want that promotion, or I want a new job, or I want to get a new career or something." What would you say to them?
Well, I don't ever want to use the words "just do it" because it's more complex than that. But what the fear or the resistance is really about that we recognize that it's a risk that we're taking, and it's about failure. It's a fear of failure, right? And failure to me is also a necessary ingredient of success.
And that's sort of the catch-22, isn't it? It's a key. It is a key to success in many respects.
Absolutely.
But it's not really so much about failure, but is it not really more about being willing to fail?
And risk, taking the risk to fail.
Right.
And sometimes we will get it wrong, right? And to me, the kernel in that is actually being able to go back and assess and look at the lessons learned, because those lessons sometimes are much more important than if we got it right automatically.
Now, something I want to ask you about is your Siren app.
Okay, yeah.
So tell us about your Siren app.
Well, it's something we're really proud of as a not-for-profit organization. It's an award-winning app that we created through an amazing staff team that we have that is innovative. And it's innovative because we're the first not-for-profit organization to actually do that. The app is really, I would call a modern-day rape whistle, if you will. That is a free download from our website, ywcacanada.ca. And so when folks visit our website, they can download this app that does a number of things. So once it's on your mobile, and it's available pretty much on all the major platforms that there are, you can either press it or shake it and it sends off an automatic alarm. And while it's doing that, it will also send a message through an email or phone call to a pre-programmed contact that you have. And the message will indicate to someone that you are in danger, right? So while it does that, it will also geolocate you, as well as programs and services and resources in the community, no matter where you are in the country. So if you want to know something about, what's out there for me, how can I find out about STDs, for example, sexually transmitted diseases, or how can I find out about, safety tips on dating, what should I be doing, what should I be putting in place, or it could be something, you're feeling depressed and you need some sort of counseling or support. So it will geolocate programs and services in the country that you can access. That are close to you. So it's a multifunctional award-winning app. We won the Avon Foundation Award for its innovativeness.
Paulette, it's time for my Good to Know Minute, and I know you've got a great success tip.
Okay. So the success tip that I've really been thinking about of late is really, to me, success is when you're able to align your heart and your mind so that whatever decision or challenge you're up against, that when you're making that decision, that everything is in sync and that you're in complete alignment. And when you are in complete alignment, it feels right and you can make that decision.
And that's good to know. And thanks for that.
Thank you.
Well, for more information about Extraordinary Women TV, my guests, and to watch past episodes, I invite you to visit the website at extraordinarywomentv.com. And to keep the conversation going, join me on Twitter at Shannon_Skinner for an empowering stream of Extraordinary Women TV updates. On Facebook, connect with me at Extraordinary Women TV. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you soon.